Carlson, our business editor, freshly back from Davos. He's got all the top business news for us now. And Marcus, we're starting in France, where the government's hopes of bringing down those unemployment figures have been dashed once again.
Yes, freshly back from Davos, first of all, and still a little bit chilled to the core. But we'll talk more about that later, Laura. Let's start with those jobless figures from France. President Hollande made it a key pledge to start lowering unemployment by the end of 2013. But Monday's labour market figures from December show that the labour market here in France is yet to turn a real corner. The Labour Ministry says that 3.3 million people were looking for work in December. That's an increase of just over 10,000 people, and it means that the number of job seekers has risen to another record high. And if we stay with the jobless situation in France, in some suburbs, youth unemployment is as high as 40%. Analysts blame a lack of opportunities in these areas where the young often lack the financial means to travel or move for work. But one French charity has a different approach, loaning young people small sums of money to start up their own businesses. Elena Casas has more.
Benny Jamel runs his own business, an eco-friendly car wash in the Paris suburbs. He started up last year thanks to a €5,000 loan to buy equipment, but he couldn't get it from a bank. He couldn't even get a business account. He says that's down to banks' reluctance to work with people from the suburbs.
When you go to a bank or any institution and your name and accent are a bit different from other people's, and you tell them you come from the suburbs, believe me, whoever is in front of you will already have a preconception.
Benny borrowed his money from a charity, Addy, that offers microcredit loans of less than €20,000 a time to would-be entrepreneurs cut out from the banking system. In France's deprived suburbs, 40% of young people have no jobs. The scheme aims to help them make their own.
They start by creating their own jobs, and then, of course, as their business develops, their activity expands. We have what I call success stories, where people started off on their own and they've hired several employees afterwards, so we contribute to creating employment.
These young people already have an idea for their own business. They're practicing hard-headed negotiation at a training session the charity runs. And it works. 68% of borrowers here are still going strong after 2 years, about the same as the average for startups.
Now, fears of a slowdown in emerging markets continue to put pressure on global stocks. Shares in Asia, they were sharply down during Monday's trading. The weakness comes on continued concerns over slowing growth in China, among other markets. The looming financial crisis in Argentina and political risks in Turkey, they're also contributing factors. Currencies in Argentina, Russia and South Africa have also fallen victim to these concerns, trading down against the dollar in the past week. It's been a similar story for the Turkish lira, but the lira snapped back against the dollar on Monday. The Turkish central bank announced that it would hold an emergency meeting Tuesday, fueling speculation that it will take action to stabilize the lira. Now, those emerging market fears, they're taking their toll on stocks in developed markets as well. In the United States this hour, we're seeing stocks below the flat line. It also comes as new U.S. home sales fell 7% in December. Heavy equipment maker Caterpillar is among the stocks that are bucking the trend after upbeat earnings. And that is why we're seeing the Dow Jones Industrial Average ever so slightly into positive territory. Earlier in Europe, the indices closed in negative territory alongside the US markets. The European indices, too, are extending falls due to the concerns over emerging markets. And if we look at some other stories out there, German companies, they're getting more and more optimistic. Business confidence in the Eurozone's biggest economy hit a 2.5-year high in December. That's according to a well-watched business climate index from research institute IFO. The head of the institute says that the reading shows that Germany had a promising start to the year. Also, Samsung has struck 2 deals to reduce the risk of costly legal disputes. The Korean maker of electronic goods has agreed to cross-license patents with Google. The Korean firm has also agreed to end a long-running patent dispute with Sweden's Ericsson. The deal will see Samsung pay Ericsson around $650 million in initial royalty payments. And on the back of that announcement, we've seen Ericsson stocks trading up in Stockholm. And with that, we're going to end the business, and I'm going to throw it back to you, Laura.
Thanks very much indeed, Marcus. We'll see Marcus later. And Marcus, once again, it's good to have you back. All right, now, moving on to sports. Dan Levy's here with us in the studio. Hello there, Dan.